warning, some distressing content I'll discuss coming up. The Albanese government, it is throwing Israel under the bus, and it's letting down Australia's Jews as well, when there's never in my lifetime been so much anti-Jew hatred. I've got friends scared of going on the street. The government is giving no leadership at all. In fact, it's speaking with a forked tongue. Now, it's true that Prime Minister Anthony Albanese today was still saying he stood behind Israel.
Israel has a right to defend itself. Hamas's terrorist activities horrified the world.
Now, I've got to say, though, that activity seems a very mild way to describe what Hamas, the terrorist group which runs Gaza, actually did to start this war on October 7, slaughtering 1,400 Jews, raping women, beheading captives, burning babies alive, taking 240 hostages. In fact, and this is, I was going to show you the clip, but it might be too confronting. The US Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, said overnight he'd seen evidence of Hamas actually mutilating parents in front of their children. How? I won't say. Then mutilating their daughter in front of the parents before killing them all four of them. That is what Israel is up against. And that's what Albanese actually means by terrorist activity. But all right, he did at least concede the barest minimum. Israel has a right to defend itself. But today again insisted Israel should restrict itself in fighting back.
But how it defends itself matters, and we want to see all innocent lives protected.
Israel was never going to do to Palestinians what Palestinians have just done to some Jews, 1,400 of them. But how can Israel defend itself and still protect all innocent life in Gaza? As Albanese put it, all innocent life. Well, you saw that Hamas command post that got bombed last night, hidden in a refugee camp. And the people around there told not to leave by Hamas, even though Israel had sent warnings for a couple of weeks. Leave this area. Danger. But if Albanese is weak on Israel, I tell you some of his ministers are outright hostile. Two of them, Ed Husic and Anne Ali, have accused Israel of war crimes. Another, Tony Burke, backed the Canterbury Bankstown Council flying the Palestinian flag, the old flag of the Palestinian Liberation Organisation. But Foreign Minister Penny Wong is, I think, the most poisonous. For instance, she's even accused Israel of committing murder, like the Hamas terrorist group.
What I would say is this is a dreadful, tragic conflict. We are seeing loss of life. We are seeing civilians on both sides have been murdered.
She's also given $25 million of your money to help Palestinians in this war that their own government started, and without demanding Hamas first release the hostages. She's posted a tweet of herself with the Palestinian activist who's called for the destruction of Israel from the river to the sea. Since then, she has tweeted not one direct criticism of Hamas by name or criticism of the Hezbollah terrorists in Lebanon who are firing rockets at Israel too. But she has just criticised Israeli settler violence against Palestinians. Priorities. Joining me is the panel, Michael Costa, former New South Wales Labor Treasurer, and David Gazzard, former Senior Liberal Advisor, now Head of DPG Advisory Solutions. Michael, what is going on with the Labor Party?
I think the Labor Party is deeply conflicted on this issue. It shouldn't be, but it is. And part of the problem here is, and let me say that in terms of Anthony Albanese, anybody that's known Albanese would be actually surprised at how firm he has actually been on this issue, given his history. So I'm not going to criticise him. We want the Prime Minister to be firm. However, he's got a major problem, and the problem is that he's got ministers, and two of his, I suppose, least able but most ambitious ministers are from the New South Wales right, in terms of Burke and Bowen and others, who have got large Muslim majorities in their seats, and they seem to be pandering to that rather than the principal issue. In terms of Penny Wong, I think it's outrageous to be seen anywhere near anybody that's tweeting or using that slogan from the river to the sea. In fact, those people should be treated like the Ku Klux Klan. You can imagine if a Conservative stood next to, and we had this actually under Tony Abbott, where he stood inadvertently next to some posters and was criticised, to the point of him being destroyed personally at times by some of these people. The same thing should apply here. Any person that's mouthing that slogan to the river or the sea should be treated by the ALP as if they're standing next to a Ku Klux Klan person or a Nazi. I mean, the fact of the matter is that's what they're calling for, the extermination of the Jews. And, Labor's got to get hard on these issues, but I think the conflict is real and it reflects the decline of the right in the national ALP. In relation to that flag, Andrew, I've got to just make the point, whilst Chris Minns has been good, he needs to get the office of local government. You've got to remember local government is regulated by the state to pass a regulation or give an order that all these flags, no matter what they are, be pulled down other than the national flags that we recognise.
How about the national flag? All other flags but the national flag.
Well, at least the Palestinian flag should be down.
Look, I just got to be fair to the guy that Penny Wong was standing next to. I don't think he wants to exterminate Jews. He just wants to destroy Israel. That leaves the question: what happens to the Jews? I don't know that he's addressed that at all. So I want to be fair to him. He wants the destruction of Israel. I don't know about the rest at all with him. Others, I'm not so sure.